Thrift stores can be overwhelming if you're new to them. Fortunately, there are a few seasoned thrift store shoppers out there who are more than willing to share their tips and secrets. In fact, they've shared them with us. Factsverse presents 40 Thrift Store Secrets Every Savvy Bargain Hunter Should Know. Before we get into our video, jump down to the comments and let us know if you like to bargain hunt, and if so, what's the best bargain you've ever found. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. When you visit the thrift store, be sure to visit the housewares department. People often donate sets of china that they don't realize are actually worth a lot of money. You can get a set of china at a thrift store for like, $19, and it could be worth thousands. The prices for items in thrift stores are already discounted. Thrift store employees, they don't like it when customers try to get them to lower the already low prices. If you're denied, don't argue. The more you argue, the less likely you're going to get a break in the future. When you make a donation to the thrift store, the employees will only put the best things that you give on the shelves and racks. The rest of the items, as well as those that have been left on the shelf for a little too long, will end up going to charities or recycling centers or even the trash. If you want to find some really high-end items, you should go to a thrift store near an affluent neighborhood. These people will donate expensive items after wearing them just once or twice. Just be prepared to pay a little bit more than you would at other thrift stores. If you're shopping at a nonprofit thrift store, you'll pay less than a for-profit store. Nonprofits donate the money that comes in to shelters, food banks, and other organizations that help the needy. Private stores will be more selective with what they sell, and they charge higher prices. That's because they have to pay rent, employee salaries, etc. If you're going to a thrift store, don't go on the weekend. That is when they are at their busiest, and most of the items will already have been picked through at that point. It's best to go midweek when the store has restocked its shelves. When people donate items to thrift stores, they're put right up on the shelf. Thrift stores don't wash them first, at least most don't. It'd be too time-consuming and costly to do that. Most people wash their clothes before donating them, but you should wash the clothes you buy when you get home just in case. Vintage appliances are great. However, you can't be sure that the appliance in the thrift store is going to work, so before buying an appliance, find an outlet in the store and test it out. People love going to thrift stores to search the shelves, and that's fine, but you should also try shopping online. More and more thrift stores today are selling their items on the web. What they put online is usually what has the most significant potential for profit, and you can find some amazing things on an online thrift store. If you live near a university, you should shop at the end of the semester. When kids leave their dorms, they'll often donate their items. If you have a child heading to college, that could be a perfect opportunity to get what they need for school. If you don't know much about clothing brands, you could be missing out on some expensive pieces. If you find a brand that you don't recognize, Google it to find out what it's really worth before you buy it. If something is marked vintage, there's a good chance that it's going to be overpriced. Before buying anything vintage, do your research, so that way you won't have to pay more than you really need to. Before buying toys, pay attention to what they're made of. Years ago, toy manufacturers didn't have the strict guidelines that we do today. If you buy a vintage toy for your child, it could be made with harmful materials like lead paint or small parts that could easily choke a child. Some thrift store shoppers will remove the price tag, hoping that the cashier will ring up a lower price because there's no tag on it. But that could backfire on you too. Thrift store employees know all the tricks, and to teach you a lesson, they might increase the price rather than lowering it. Don't try to haggle with a thrift store employee. It's not going to work. The only one with authority to set and change the prices is the manager. If you have items that you're thinking about buying, go ahead and put them in your cart anyway. That way, when you're walking around the store, somebody else won't snatch that item before you get back to it. Before going to the thrift store, take a look at your closet first. Then make a list. When you know what you have and what you don't, it'll prevent you from making impulse buys. Thrift stores aren't the most well-organized places. If you can't find something you're looking for, it could have been put in the wrong section. Look around in all the departments just to be sure. Seasoned thrift store shoppers will tell you to bring the right tools with you. Your kit should include a measuring tape to be sure that furniture will fit in your home, a set of batteries to make sure that the electronics work, and a magnet to test jewelry. Sterling silver is not magnetic. Finally, bring an old towel to put in your car's trunk if you choose to buy something. Most thrift stores use different colored tags to rotate what's new and what's not. If you learn that color system, you could see what's brand new and what's not. People tend to donate clothing when the seasons change, and that's when thrift stores get the biggest influx of donations. Also, people donate a lot right after the holidays so they don't miss the tax write-off deadline. Some thrift stores have high-end or boutique racks. These sections do have good items, but you can often find things that are just as nice on the regular rack, so check both to find out. Don't be surprised if you find something at a thrift store with the tags still on it. People tend to donate things that they've never even worn. Also, some stores like Target will donate their leftover items to Goodwill. You could find brand new items at thrift stores for discounted prices. You may find something great in a thrift store, but the zipper's broken or it's missing a button. These things cost only a few dollars to have fixed at a tailor. Even if there's something wrong with an item but you still like it, go ahead and buy it. It can be fixed for just a few bucks. At most thrift stores, all sales are final, so if you're buying clothes, to keep from wasting your money, make sure you try them on first. If you're looking for a specific item but the thrift store doesn't have it, give them your phone number. Many smaller thrift stores have no problem calling you when a certain item becomes available. There are some items you just should not buy at a thrift store. Underwear and bathing suits, they should be avoided, of course, for sanitary purposes, if nothing else. Mattresses and stuffed animals, they could be teeming with bed bugs, too. And finally, cribs and strollers, they could be old and they may not meet current requirements. Better to go with something a bit newer when it comes to your baby. When you visit a thrift store, chat up the employees. You could probably get them to tell you when they restock their shelves and you could start visiting the store on that day. It's a good idea to bring a friend to the thrift store with you. Not only will you have two sets of eyes to look for whatever it is you're looking for, but you'll also have somebody to give you their opinion. Before shopping for furniture at the furniture store, take measurements. You need to measure the door, the staircase, and the area where you plan to put the furniture. That'll prevent buyer's remorse later on. Getting to know the thrift store employees can be beneficial. If they're your friend, they'll help you find things. They'll let you know when an item comes in, and they can help you find something incredible. Before buying items, you do need to be honest. If you don't think that you're ever going to get to the tailor, don't buy something that needs to be taken in. Also, make sure that it's something you'll actually wear. You can save money if you're honest with yourself in that thrift store. Don't buy it just because you think it might fit. All of the good items won't only be in the larger big-name stores. You could find some great things in smaller thrift stores, and you won't have to worry that everything's been picked over. If you have to choose between a thrift store and the flea market, you'll always get a better price at the thrift store. People who sell their goods at flea markets, they know what their items are worth and they won't haggle. To get the best deals, visit the thrift store regularly the way you would the grocery store or the gas station. You'll have a much better chance of finding hidden treasures. Overhead fluorescent lighting is not the best. If you're thinking about buying something, examine it with your phone's flashlight to find any rips or stains in the clothing. Rather than worrying about brands, worry about the material. If you find something that feels soft and luxurious, buy it. Who cares what the tag says? If you have anything to donate, bring it with you when you shop. You can save yourself a trip, and you'll give yourself some good karma when you donate. Before you start picking up things to buy, take a lap and see what the store has to offer. Once you've done that, you can begin filling your cart. When traveling, be sure to hit up a thrift store or two when you're out of town. You might find things that they don't have at the thrift store back at home. If you have any other tips when it comes to thrift store shopping, tell us about them in the comments, and subscribe for more.